I'm gonna be brief. How's everybody doing?
Very well.
Who hasn't been out here before? Show of hands. Don't be embarrassed. Okay, wonderful. Well, we'll look around you. Imagine, this being built out with, fulfillment distribution centers and the like, and losing some of the space, and that is the very real challenge in the battle that we have as we continue to discuss the future of this valley. For me, it's actually a very personal. To be involved here with the Open Space Authority and preserving Coyote Valley. I grew up in an apartment complex in East San Jose, and as I've shared this story a few times, some of you may have heard this, but I actually my vision of open space when I was growing up was my concrete patio, and so we didn't venture out, we didn't have the resources to venture out to parks, to whether it be Yosemite, whether it be to Big Sur, whatever it may be. We just didn't have that access, and so Megan touching on the providing parkland or open space for kids within 10 minutes of their residence, I think is very meaningful to me personally, and I think it's something that we should all aspire to. I'm not going to go into all the benefits, but I will touch on, obviously, the recreational benefits of Coyote Valley. There's about 7,000 square feet, or 7,000 acres, of open space here. So certainly it provides a lot of quality outdoor experiences, recreational opportunities. So I encourage you to visit here and take your get on the trails and such when you get an opportunity. But also the importance that it provides for habitat for a lot of the animals in these foothills, and certainly the linkages between the mountain ranges, the Diablo range and the Santa Cruz Mountains is very important. Carbon sequestration is also very important as it captures a lot of the CO2 that we've been emitting over the years, and that, as we've learned, is one of the biggest challenges that we have to mitigate that. Certainly, as you drove in, you probably saw some of the agricultural lands at work. Here at the corner, I think it's Uswigi Farms. Yeah, they're going to be selling a lot of pumpkins there in the not too distant future. But the other thing I wanted to touch on is certainly we don't need to look that far back to see some of the challenges with climate change and some of the challenges explicitly in Houston, Texas. They recently had Harvey come through, obviously. And there's certainly a lot of takeaways that we as a nation can pull away from that. But several things stand out to me, and it's really Houston over the years paving over a lot of their agricultural land, but also poor land use planning. And I know we don't encounter that here, but I think it's something to keep in mind, that if not done correctly, the challenges can be devastating. And certainly we don't need to look that far back to see some of the challenges that we here in San Jose have had with the recent flooding in Coyote Creek, right, that stemmed from the dam up north. And I know there's some friends here from the Water District, and certainly we can go back and forth and talk about who's to blame and all that, but I think we can agree on one thing, in that if Coyote Valley was used the way nature intended to be used, it's quite probable that flooding wouldn't have taken place downstream. And so what happens next? And I think it's very important to point out that we need to begin working together. And whether it be the city, the Water District, Open Space Authority, other agencies. And I don't necessarily mean just by talking, because we always have conversations and such, but I think it needs to be just meaningful, sort of hand-in-hand, working together to make sure we integrate and do everything we can to preserve this beautiful space, but also making sure that it works the way it's supposed to be working. Now, how's that going to be done? I think certainly this trip is very timely in that the city of San Jose in December 2016, we voted and to fund the moving forward of the environmental sustainability plan. And so to the extent, in my view, that the preservation of this valley, flood mitigation, and all the other wonderful things that stem from having this open space, to the extent we can integrate that together, is going to be very important. And so I just want to leave you with my personal view that you have my support 100%. I want to see this preserved, and I will do anything possible to make sure that happens. And I think I speak to some of my, speak to the thoughts of some of my fellow council members that we all want to see this preserved, and we're all going to do everything possible. And so to the extent that we can be helpful, whether it's a budget request to make sure that the environmental Services Department has the required and necessary funds to help fund some of these positions is going to be very important to me, and so it's something we're going to continue to work on. So thank you for coming out. I hope you have a wonderful day.